What's up, y'all? Alvin here, and today we're talking about casting. That's right, I'm gonna tell you how far you need to throw it.
I tell the good jokes.
Okay, so I have guided for trout, I have guided for bass, I have guided for redfish. Now, they're all a little bit different, but almost always people are concerned with how far do I need to be able to cast? And it varies, but most of the time you just need to be able to cast to where the fish are. Now, I know, smart aleck answer as usual, but it's true. And most of the time, the fish are going to be closer than you think they are. So I'm going to rank the importance of casting in 3 different parts. Number 1 is accuracy. Accuracy is definitely more important than distance. Number 2 is speed. Speed is definitely more important than distance. Number 3, distance. Surprised, huh? But it's true. Okay, so let's start with distance. I remember when I first started getting into saltwater fly fishing, everybody said, if you can't throw 100 feet, you don't stand a chance at catching any type of fish in saltwater. So I worked and I worked and I worked, and I don't think I ever got to where I could consistently throw 100 feet or make a 100-foot cast or put out 100 feet of fly line. No way. Now, I do know a few people who can, and they're pretty amazing. Most of the people I know who are great fly anglers are not ever consistently throwing 100 feet of line. Now, just like anything else, there are extreme circumstances where that might be the case, but more often than not, you're not throwing 100 feet of line. Whether you're bass fishing, you're trout fishing, or you're fishing for redfish, more often than not, 40 to 50 feet is going to get you everything you need to do. So if you're sight casting to redfish, if they're more than 40 or 50 feet away, a lot of times you can't even determine which direction they're facing, and you can't put the fly in front of the fish. So you got to get a little bit closer. If you're bass fishing, we're hitting structure and we're hitting the bank, or maybe occasionally actually casting to a fish. If you're more than 50, 60 feet away, you can't really tell exactly where you need to put the fly. So we usually try to get a little bit closer. Same thing with trout fishing. Casting a rising trout or trying to get a drift right next to a rock, a log, or a bank. If you're more than 50 or 60 feet away, it just becomes difficult, and you're much better trying to get closer to your target. If you're wade fishing a small creek for trout, bass, sunfish, a lot of times 50 or 60 feet, and you're throwing up on the bank. So don't worry so much about making really long casts. Now, if you can make a really long cast, then making a shorter 30, 40, or even 50-foot cast is going to be a lot easier. So yes, go ahead and practice making those long casts. But just remember, most of the time when you're fishing, when you're actually fishing, when you're on the water hunting fish, you're probably not going to have to make a 100-foot cast. I can't remember more than a couple of times where I've made the longest cast I could possibly make and actually ended up catching a fish. Okay, second part, speed. And what do I mean by speed? By speed, I mean getting that fly on the water as quickly as you can. So a lot of times in the effort to make a longer cast, you see a lot of false casting happening. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'm screaming, put the fly down on the water. The fish are in the water. So every time you make another false cast, it's just an opportunity for something to go wrong. Whether that be hitting the rod with your fly, making a bad back cast or a bad forward cast and just blowing everything, getting a tangle. And just the fact that your fly is in the air and not in the water, you're not gonna hook fish. So work on speed. I tell people that if you can make your presentation at your maximum comfortable distance with 2 false casts, so that's 4 strokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should be able to make a presentation at your furthest comfortable distance accurately with 4 strokes. And you're going to catch a lot more fish because your fly is going to spend a lot more time in the water. You're not going to be rocking the boat. You're not going to be splashing around. You're not going to be getting snagged in the tree behind you. You're going to be putting the fly on the water in front of the fish, and you're going to be hooking up a lot more often. So, more important than distance, speed. All right, so what's really the most important part? Accuracy. 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 I would much rather have someone on the boat with me who could only cast, say, 30 feet, but they could make that cast every time land in a circle this big at 30 feet, because you're going to catch a lot more fish than somebody who's making 10 false casts and making a 70-foot cast, and it's going 20 feet to the left, 20 feet to the right, and has no accuracy. Especially in saltwater fishing, redfish, which is what I do, you really need to be able to land that fly in a circle this big. And you need to be able to make that fly swim right across in front of that fish's nose, from left to right or right to left, within a foot or so. So accuracy is going to put a lot more fish in the boat than just bombing one out there, doing the Hail Mary cast every time. And unfortunately, accuracy is probably the hardest thing to achieve with the fly rod. The wind's blowing, things are shifting, that line is slapping the water, it's not straightening out. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong and can kill your accuracy. So that is the thing that I encourage most people to work on most of the time, accuracy. So whether you're casting at a tailing redfish or a bonefish or a tarpon, whether you're trying to get a good drift in front of a rising trout, whether you're trying to hit a log or a rock or another piece of structure when you're bass fishing, accuracy is going to make all the difference in the world. Going to put more fish in the boat for you day in and day out. So I encourage you to work on your accuracy. And the surprising thing is, as you become more accurate, those other factors will also become better, will become easier. So you'll be able to make longer casts. You'll be able to get those casts out there a little bit quicker. I encourage you to try to make those short, accurate casts as quickly as you can, 4 strokes or less, and then just build on. Make them a little bit longer, make them a little bit longer, make them a little bit longer. You'll get to where you'll figure out, okay, I can accurately make a quick cast at 50 feet, and you'll be good. You'll be able to catch all the fish you need to catch. More often than not, the short game is what kills you. So work on those short casts as well. Don't spend all your time trying to make a really long cast. Spend most of your time trying to make an accurate cast, and I guarantee you will catch more fish no matter what you're fishing for. All right. I hope that helps somebody out there. If it does, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you hate the video, like I always say, bam, hit that thumbs down button twice. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, good luck on the water. I mean, you know, I could throw 100 feet without a false cast. I can throw it 100 feet without a back cast. Yeah, right. Yeah. I've also caught like 4 redfish on the same hook, same fly, one hook, not 4 hooks, just one hook. Threw it out there 150 feet, well into the backing. Fly landed, 2 strips, 4 fish on at the same time.